a sight that you've heard about for a very long time. References, passing mentions, the so-called academy, where the queen sends her faces to be trained in all that it means to be a face. And as you arrive, you see that here at the heart of the Grand Whirl, just going to jump to the map real quick. I was trying to get a more close-up regional map together for this area, just to give you a sense of the layout of things, but it's not quite ready. We'll see if it becomes relevant or not, but you guys are way up here, and if you zoom in on this map, you can kind of see how the whirl hooks around on itself with land and sea seeming to spiral together. Of course, for your characters, much closer to the ground, this is a great swath of a peninsula and a fjord that are kind of wrapped around each other, so you don't quite get that perspective of everything wrapped in. But this view that I showed you last week is basically right at the point where the water terminates. And here you can see a city which gleams in the light of the magical auroras as they illuminate it in gentle hues of purple and green and blue that roll across it, almost making it seem to come alive with ripples of color. And beyond the city, a great structure seemingly halfway between mountain and palace, with spires of glistening ice rising up from jagged looking frozen slopes. I want you to see this map as well. I'm going to try to export it. Even though it's unfinished, it should still give you a rough idea of the overall area you're looking at. And as you look out to the left, to the west of this view here, you can also see the water, the edge of the whirl, and it's not only water there, but you can see many little small islands that jut up out of the frozen ocean. Some of them seeming to kind of be long and strand-like, almost like little barrier islands scattered out here and there. Others little more than rocks sticking up out of the water. But amidst all of them, a far larger one that seems to have these kind of twisting peninsula arms of its own. And rising from the heart of that, a tower with a gleaming light, cold and pure, beaming from it.
Sorry, I had to step out the room real quick. What did I miss?
I wonder if that's a ghost light. It was describing the city and palace that we had come upon, and describing a tower that gleamed out with a cold light.
Cold and pure.
Cold and pure light.
Sure sounds like it could be a ghost light.
I was not expecting something as large when we were coming up here. How close are we to this city right now?
You are maybe a mile south of the city or so. You're kind of standing. You can see that there's like some buildings on the outskirts, and then it gets denser and denser with structures, some of them 4 or 5 stories high, rising up in streets and boulevards. And it extends on and on until it reaches this kind of mountain-like palace that stands behind it.
Are we close enough to make out any kind of movement in this city at all? Like, anything at all? Or is it just kind of deathly still?
You look out across the city. It is still, but I'd take perception checks from anyone who wants to make one. Nick, I assume you're not capable of rolling right now, so I think I can make one for you.
No, I can roll.
Oh, you can roll. Are you not driving? Are you not piloting a vehicle right now?
I'm riding in here.
Oh, okay. You got the autopilot turned on your Tesla, and you're just gaming while cruising.
Yeah, he's got
like that.
he's got roll 20 up on the giant fucking monitor.
I don't think any keeps trying to autopilot.
Let me see.
Okay.
All right.
Crush my soup.
Great. I'm so glad you crushed your soup.
That Costco broccoli cheddar soup. It hits.
Hey, to be fair, it is soup season now.
It is. Is this the right size? It's
It
about
is.
the right
What
size.
does soup season mean?
It's soup
Is it
season.
season for soups?
Yeah.
It means it's too cold and too rainy.
Okay. This is incredibly rudimentary, but it should give you a little bit of a better sense of the geography, at least. It's not as pretty as that beautiful picture, but
Was that a giant Lego?
God damn it. Oh, this is a lot of city to fucking move through. Holy shit.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So is the blue
So-
part water?
the blue part is water. It's actually frozen over with ice. But that is the land's edge there, and you can see that in the water, kind of in the crook of the very end of the world, there is this island. And that little circular blip is the tower that rises from the midst of it. And this big old blob here is the sort of mountain that the palace seems almost to be sculpted out of.
That is a lot of city. Then we have to.
So I assume
Let me
Skirt around.
somewhere over here then?
Yeah, well, you guys are actually like a little bit south of this map, but you have kind of a view of this area, the water's edge, the light, the city stretched out, and of course the palace itself. With those perception checks, you're standing shivering there in the cold, with only a handful of your starting number with you, some lost to the blizzard, others sent away on their mission some hours ago now. You imagine that whatever they're up to there, they are in the thick of it. But as for you, what you're looking at, Cat, as you shiver and cold puffs of air come out of your mouth, occasionally obscuring your sight. You realize that you can see lights moving amongst the streets of the city. At first, they sort of blend in with the shifting light of the aurora overhead, but if you really peer closely, you can see other like streaks and shafts of light that momentarily shine and glisten out from the heart of the city, and then might vanish, and then you might see another one of these shafts of light for a moment from another part of the city, and then that's gone too.
Does it look like there would be any docks? Maybe I can't imagine that they travel all this way on like a carriage through that hostile environment. Maybe a ship, or because as we've seen with the meal, like the fake queen, the servants of the fake queen don't require like food shipments if they can just create food shipments. So does it look like there's any traffic in and out of the city?
It's strange because you can see streets and boulevards and clear avenues that divide up the city in different directions. And there are some like scattered looking outbuildings, but eventually all of the roads just sort of trail off into wilderness, into untouched snow. There are no paths that seem to lead anywhere out of the city. And if you scan along the water's edge, you do see some buildings that kind of follow the coastline and look like maybe there could be some sort of piers out that way or something like that, but you don't see any masts of ships rising up, and you have a hard time imagining any vessels making their way through solid pack ice here anyway.
You know what I'm willing to bet? Because we passed through Valinistat when, what was her name? The soon to be face? Kevin?
Say again.
The soon to be face, the face that we got from
Iveta?
Yeah, Iveta. When Iveta and her escort passed by Valinistat, I think they disappeared. So maybe, and this is Kat talking to the group, maybe the teleportation circle in Valinistat wasn't the only one. Maybe there's one also here.
Wait, what do you mean when they disappeared in Valenistat?
Well, they left our party to go to Valinistat, or to leave for somewhere, and I can't imagine that.
Did they
just little
travel? I thought
Iveta-
they just left straight from the village. I don't remember them leaving with
They
us.
traveled with us for a little bit.
They did travel with you, and then they parted ways in Villenestad, yes.
I mean, it makes sense for there to be something like that here, so that it can be as secret as possible.
You think
Yes.
everything here was brought by the fake queen doing that then? Teleportation?
We've seen the fake queen make cities out of nothing, or at least imagine, or at least we've been told that she's been making stuff like this bigger than this. I imagine out of nothing. So maybe she didn't need it, but the
That
puppet
doesn't
needed it.
bode well for fighting her.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Oh man, but
Bounce.
from this distance, can we tell if there's a lot of foot traffic at all? Maybe anything? Horses, armies coming to stop us, maybe?
You don't see foot traffic, horses, armies. Only the occasional shaft of light that you noticed before, sort of strafing across the city before disappearing.
Makes me a little nervous.
Okay, that is weird. I've seen a lot of weird things in our travels, but this is close to the top. This makes the list, you know. What now? Charge into the city, conquering heroes, or maybe a little smarter.
I imagine at this point, Vengeance is probably shivering a little extra compared to everyone and just being there like, I don't care what we do. I am cold.
Maybe it might be best if we stick to the outskirts of the town. As we make our way over there. I don't like the idea of possibly getting trapped inside those homes, like inside one of the streets.
Yes, I am inclined to agree as well.
So 7 more recommend that we had for the place, right? It's kind of the city, but you can send it right there. It's got a city if you want to about it.
It's a good idea.
Wait, did you understand him?
Yeah, he said that we should go and check out the ghost light, but we can also send a, I think he said a scouting spell to go check out the city.
Was he not super choppy to you?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry if I'm trying. Yeah, I'm saying I can send an eye if you want more intel on the city, but yeah, I don't think you try to do it. We just you should sit around.
Yeah. So we can send a scouting. Seven can send a scouting spell into the city, but we should probably go check out the ghost light.
Where is the ghost light on the map? Is it up on this castle too, or somewhere else?
No, it's the thing right here.
It's a little hurricane-looking thing out in the frozen water.
Yeah,
In the middle.
I thought that was the
Hurricane
castle.
No, the castle's the mini South America rotated 90 degrees to the right of it.
Oh,
This
Oh,
this
looks
big
more
old
like
lump.
Africa to me.
No,
Okay.
look,
No,
it's
no,
Argentina
you're right.
and Brazil. Out
No, you're
there.
right.
yeah,
You're
Brazil
right.
right here.
You can see Brazil there.
Or it could be a turkey on a stick.
You guys got me.
I mean,
I based that shape on a turkey on a stick.
Yeah.
No, it's actually
Happy
a
Thanksgiving, everyone!
This is the Thanksgiving episode. Secret.
God damn it.
We're all gonna starve and freeze to death.
Like the pilgrim should have. What?
It's just
goddamn
real
right.
realistic.
Well, I mean, what do you think happened at Roanoke?
Fair enough.
They went to find food and shelter and got absorbed by a Native American tribe.
Because they were
Fucked.
freezing and starving to death. Yes.
Or were they absorbed by the Fey Queen?
Dun dun dun. It's all come together now.
Either way, let's just send some sort of spell to go
Scout the
look and
city.
see what's
Yeah.
going on.
They will know what we're dealing with.
By the way, sorry. Has there been any indication that those two giants have come back?
No.
Oh. Oh. Uh-oh.
Um. One second. Did you get to? 1 second. Sorry. I'm gonna find something before you go any further.
Oh yeah, the technical name for this, by the way, Max, is Father Morton's cane.
Jesus Christ, man.
That's amazing.
Didn't realize Father Morton was such a big fan of D&D.
Love it. Play it all the
Or,
time in his
oh,
free time.
Well, no. He used that number on the top. He would take it off and roll to see how many times he'd smack Rylan with it.
Yep, that one. That one indeed.
Ain't gonna lie, Kevin. That stick got lucky because we hydroplaned the fuck out of the car the second we got in Ohio, and I thought I got slammed into by one of our dogs.
No, watch it just be secretly cracked, and I'm gonna need to use it for something one day, and then it's gonna fully break, and then I'm gonna die.
In what life and death situation are you using Father Morton's stick?
Maybe it's in my car and it's underwater, and I'm sinking to the bottom, and I need it to bust out my window. And the first time I hit it against the window, it just breaks.
Well, it probably would break because it's wood against
Glass.
pretty solid glass. Tempered glass.
Okay.
I was
Situation,
imagining.
Max.
I was imagining you fighting somebody and breaking it over them.
There's not a lot of situations, but there's situations.
All
Like
right.
a home invasion or something like that?
You grab
Take
the
out
nearest
Father
thing in
Morton's
hand.
stick.
Ooh, well,
Morton's cane.
Max like, ugh, Pat killed me.
I've got,
Hey, Robert,
I've got-
Robert, put that in my grave.
I've got a gun for home invasions. But maybe Katie starts acting up. Just
Okay. On that note, you guys are looking. See what you can see around here. The group of you is determining to head in the direction of the ghost light, but you want to send an eye into the city?
aye.
I guess we're heading to the coast of the water.
That was real hard to
I'm,
get there.
yeah,
He's
I'm
asking
no-
if we're
no
heading to the
comprendo there.
coast with the water.
Are you do you have on your human real life character sheet something for understanding garbled messages? Because I have no idea what he's
No,
saying.
I can understand. I can't say. I don't know, man. Shit.
Look, I got some radio ear, but that's some
Must be a military
fucked
thing,
up
I don't
shit.
know.
Nah, I got-
There are 3 people in this call that are ex-military.
You mean? Oh, never mind.
Would you be so kind as to interpret?
He's typing in the chat. It's all good. He's got it.
But
That
you're,
last one was real roughneck.
Max, you are a garble translator.
It's not what I was.
Okay.
There we go.
So you start making your way sort of skirting around to the left, still kind of off the edge of this map to the south, avoiding the heart of the city itself, but eventually making your way to a rather rugged looking coastline. You can see a series of peninsulas that all seem to jut out in a kind of counterclockwise direction as they make their way along the curve of the coastline here. And once again, you can see that the water itself is frozen over with dense ice and interrupted intermittently by small islands that jut up. Some of them a few hundred feet in length. Some of them a little more than large stones breaking through the surface of the ice. The scale for this map. Actually, can I do this real quick? This should help as well with giving you a bit of a reference point. If I make every one of these 100 pixels, and then I turn, I guess I need to make this a map layer. Yeah, I think I set the scale on this such that every square is roughly 200 feet.
Oh.
So,
200 feet, that's one round of easy movement for Nimue.
That's true though.
yeah, that is roughly the scale. So even that big island in the middle isn't, even if you include the peninsula arms, it isn't more than like 1,200 feet across. So it's a relatively small map. Like those buildings on there, they are actually like at the scale that the buildings would be. So it is, yeah, it's about, the island that you see in the middle is about a quarter mile in length from tip to tip. And you guys, where's my little party marker? Grab that. Are currently right about here. Maybe a little further off, not so as not to get too close to the buildings. But yeah, you're able to circle around to the water's edge without any sort of interference, without anybody coming out of the city towards you or anything like that.
I know it's really cold out here, but I feel like if people were here, at least we'd see at least one person walking around. But
This is all frozen, correct? All this blue.
It is.
Okay. So are we planning to just walk straight out this way to the island, or?
do we have
Well,
any?
how stable does this ice look? Like, can someone tell if it looks safe?
Yeah. I'll take survival checks.
Because we have some. Do we still have any giants left?
Nope. Oh my God, Nimue,
In this
chill.
situation.
Ryland and Nimue are both experts of the outdoors. Ryland, in particular, has reason to be rather a student of water, although doesn't normally deal with it in frozen form, not like this. But in this case, both of you look out across the water, and you can see that it looks solid enough on the surface. You see occasional patches where snow has kind of piled up over time, blown around in drifts. But if you look carefully further out, closer to the island in the center, you can see these kind of strange-looking gashes and rifts in the ice. And if you look very, very carefully at a distance, maybe 1,000 feet off the shore, if you really pay attention for a minute or two, you can even notice that the ice seems to be moving out there, slowly making its way from west to east.
we would be okay until we get a little further in, closer to the shore. It's a whole sea of moving ice.
Um, I don't know if you remember what happened
Yeah.
in the
I,
Tempest Pass when we tried to cross water. But that was not.
how many people are with us roughly?
I think you have about 25 individuals following you at this point. You have the a couple of sprites. You have the hag, lady. What was her name? Auntie Fingers.
Oh God, no.
You have you sent the two giants off into to scout, and they never returned. However, I believe I said way back, we haven't really addressed them much, but I believe I said way back that the stone giants that you encountered all the way back in Visegrad were with this group as well, that they came from Visegrad.
Oh, shit.
And so those three individuals are with you.
Uglamog, Voltz, and Octak.
I
You
was
got
about to
it.
say, how are we being stealthy? Because I remember them being very tall.
They were, but you may remember that you also almost didn't notice them until they were right on top, until you were right on top of them.
Fair enough.
They blend in remarkably well to their environment. Their gray skin and their ability to kind of move very slowly and deliberately makes them surprisingly stealthy for their size.
Huge gray chameleons.
They're just low crawling behind us the
Yeah.
entire time.
It's crawling behind us.
Yeah. They. Who else is with you at this point? You also have. Well, you've sent, I believe, both Glorzo and Hasmahilda through the portal, which I think means that, in terms of like specific named known characters, you're down to very few.
Did we keep Miss Cleric Lady with us?
I was assuming that she was accompanying Hasmahilda.
Damn.
Torgren clan is sticking close together since there's
Yeah.
only two of them left.
Yeah, that makes sense. It just sucks that we're down a healer.
But you've got maybe a couple of ordinary humans who are amongst the numbers of the many, and then a handful of the Fey forces that are left over that didn't go to the siege or didn't go through the portal. That's about it.
So, considering the amount of people we have with us, and we don't want to split our forces, especially not in basically the Lion's Den, I recommend we bypass the Ghost Light for now, or we like bunker down here and we send a few of us to go and check it out, and then we move towards the academy through the city. Or maybe keep to the outskirts of the city.
What benefit would this ghost light have us right now?
Maybe it, Wait, is Ghostlight on?
It looks like it's on.
It is. In fact, I have an image of it.
Cold, pure light.
It does not. The image includes a glistening, glowy bridge, which is not currently there, but otherwise,
I'm sorry, currently?
Stop asking questions.
You don't know.
Interesting.
Maybe sometimes
wording
there's a
there,
bridge. Maybe
Anthony.
sometimes, but it looks something like this.
That's
that's
real pretty.
It's really beautiful. Yeah, it looks pretty on. So, and that's what we're supposed to do.
Maybe
Honestly,
it's been tampered with though somehow. Maybe it's drawn in the tides instead of keeping them at bay.
Hmm.
What exactly is this glowing lighthouse? This ghost light exactly that you've kept referring to. I don't know what it is.
Well,
Did we not explain?
the last time it went out back in the River Kingdoms in Tempest Pass, uh, an eternal storm just kept ravaging the land, and it'd pass over you, drop off a couple creatures you ain't never seen before in your life. Uh, they would take over
Kills
your
your
body
horse.
sometimes, or kill your horse.
FEMA.
It just generally is not a very pleasant thing when the tides are when their flow is interrupted in a sort. When they're being held at bay by the ghost lights, everything in the world's normal.
No, this is normal. Leave it be.
Maybe
So if
I
we
don't know though.
Unsure.
if we are reasoning that the Fake Queen has tampered with this in some way, I don't know magic stuff. Don't you know? You know I don't know magic stuff, but I would be willing to guess that maybe whatever is tampering with the ghost lights, maybe within the academy. I mean, this whole place doesn't seem right, right? I mean, uh, we still don't know the first thing about it. Perhaps it would be wise for us to go investigate the academy first. It doesn't even seem like there are any like forces here
That
that we
little
see.
swirling cloud of dust, not the bridge, like the kind of dust on that last picture, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Was that going up or coming down?
Is kind of spiraling round the light. I mean, that image is fairly close, and you guys are probably standing about half a mile away from it where you are. So you can make out the glimmer, but it's hard to make out a lot of real meaningful detail from this far away.
I mean, if it is on and not off, that is a good sign. Maybe it is being suppressed in some way.
Look, if it's not broke, let's not try to fix it.
We don't really know if it's not broke. We don't really know a whole lot about them. We know they go off and they go on. We don't know if they can do anything else.
They could be on but not working.
Don't you all find it at least a bit suspicious that the location where we think the fake queen might be hiding her physical form is so close to the ghost light? Don't you think that if we're going to face her, we might want to find out what's going on there?
Good point.
Alright, I'm convinced.
I feel like maybe our goal isn't to keep the
Translate.
Coming in
Max.
broken and unreadable.
He got cut off before he finished his sentence. He said something like, "I feel like our goal should be something."
It sounded like he was going somewhere along the lines of we should go check here out first before dealing with her. Is where I think he was going.
Okay, but how are we gonna get there safely?
We can just walk across. It's frozen.
Well-
Until it's not.
Yeah. Once we get closer to the island.
Well, I mean, we can always do the thing we did in the River Kingdoms where we had a fleet across the river. I can just help us
I don't-
across.
Mm.
I mean, it sounded like Seven had a plan. before he got cut off. That is.
Tensor's floating disc.
That's what I feel like he was going. Was probably having us fly.
Yeah, some magic across.
Of
That's
that
fine.
half of this is just guessing what Nick was trying to say.
Because he has the magic. He's the magic man. Well, he's one of the
Yeah.
magic men.
Sorry, guys. You're not going to make much out of me, so I guess I don't have a really good plan. I just thought that, maybe the rest of our troops could stay here and a few of us could fly over there.
You're
I
actually
could handle that much.
you're actually perfectly understandable now. So
Sounds good to me. I assume the force going then would be all of us.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, I can fly, and then whichever two of you are the strongest, I'll make you fly and carry somebody piggyback. What do you think?
So that definitely sounds like Cat.
Yes, I can carry someone piggyback. Or would
Yes.
you prefer a princess thing?
I would prefer a princess than cat.
Perfect. You would have to turn your head that way because I've noticed that you have not been brushing your teeth recently, and it's starting to smell a little bit.
Excuse you. I have
Smells
definitely
like
been.
sulfur.
I have definitely been brushing my teeth with accordance to how I was taught. Okay.
Charcoal?
With charcoal,
I'm also-
once a
I'm also
day when
not
they feel
sure-
weird.
I'm also not sure how much can a stone giant carry all of us? Because I could just make a stone giant fly and carry all of us.
If he like lays out flat and just floats.
Superman's us over there.
I'll say that a stone giant could probably carry, let's say, 3 of you, one in each arm and one like on its back, kind of over its shoulders, like a small child.
All right, so cat's gonna fly and carry one of us. Stone giant's gonna fly and carry whoever else can't, and I'm just gonna fly on my own. Just to avoid any potential perils with the ice, right?
Perfect.
Sounds good.
All right, Nimue, pop up. Let's go.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. You've got 3 stone giants with you. Which one were you gonna take?
Let's just ask them which one volunteers to come with us to the Ghost Light.
Do we speak giant?
I had to use tongues last time, so let's just do some demonstrate it.
All right, so you're saying one of us is just going up to these stone giants and basically going, puppies, is what I'm hearing.
No.
Oh, right. And the cat will instruct the at least a human member and like a fae member of their party to dig in as much as they can, maybe create a rudimentary defense.
Mhm.
If any of them have magic, not including anti-fingers, to just send us a message. Because anti-fingers, it seems like she does her own thing, and Cat wants to respect that.
Anti-Fingers just turns at you with that rictus grin smile still on her face.
You were doing such a good job. I appreciate everything you do for us. Please don't curse my future children.
God, you're really gonna make me go all the way back to that, What the heck is this? Why did I
The
bring
answer
this
to all of our
map?
questions?
No, why did I bring this map? I didn't mean to bring this map. Did I archive it? I think I archived it. Um, Snowy forest. No. Find it eventually. Ian Counter. That's not what I want. The map where you guys encountered the giants in the first place. Oh, whatever. I'll do it the way that outs me. What were those? What were those 3 giant names you had in your notes?
Uglamog, Volgsy, and Oaktag.
I have a feeling the Oaktag is going to be the one that carries us.
Oaktag is looking like a good choice. Archive that page again. I don't want that sitting around. Oaktag. Yeah, okay, I remember. Volksy was the one who was leading the 3 of them. But Oaktag is, I think, the one who was sick, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Oaktag was the one we ran into first.
Oh, the one that was injured, yeah.
Yeah, he'll volunteer.
Is he healthy?
Yeah, he was just poisoned.
He's not sick
Okay.
anymore. He had been poisoned by some hunters who were trying to kill him. And you made him feel better.
Yeah,
So he hasn't forgotten that.
They were cats hunters.
No, they weren't.
They
They
were
were
on
from
your
the mortal
land.
hand.
They were on your hand.
They were from the mortal hand.
Your land, your responsibility.
I actually wrote this into the lore of the place, and they can only operate in the forest if they have a hunting license.
Which
Oh my
obviously they
God.
did.
I don't think they had.
Were they in
All
the
right,
forest?
Kevin, hit him with the voice.
What?
What?
The voice you were doing for that one character that was all about laws.
Oh yeah.
Oh, always watching.
Oh my
You
god!
gotta
No.
get your permits before you go hunting on the Melnikov land.
Oh my god!
So good.
If you don't, you face a fine and possible jail time.
Shades of heroin and noble good coming back. All right. Yeah, Otag. Otag has the easiest name to remember. Volksy's an easy name, but Otag is coming with you. And he is volunteering to take anybody who wants to come in his big strong arms and ride on his shoulders like a child.
I've been carried by some big arms before. I'll just ride on the back. You can get carried, Ryland.
Okay.
All right.
Basically light as a feather. And Otag's my friend.
Okay. You gather together. You cast fly. What do you upcast that to get a couple? Does upcasting give you more than one? I think that's what it does, right?
Yeah, so if 2 people need to fly, so I cast a fourth level fly spell or whatever.
A 4th level fly will allow Ogtag to carry 3 of you, and then Cat, and then 1 more, and then of course 7 is capable of flight all on his own. So I believe that seals it. In fact, I think you've got a spare seat, so to speak. Do you want to bring anyone else with you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you technically Ogtag could carry 1 more if you were so inclined.
Do we want to bring Auntie Fingers with us?
She can fly on
I
her own
think-
in her cauldron.
Yeah, she can
That's
fly herself.
true.
That's true.
That's true.
And the sprites can
Um,
fly too.
You do, yeah. I did.
Right.
I almost forgot this, but you do have Soren as well.
I guess we can take
Oh
Soren.
shit! I
Yeah.
forgot about Soren. Yeah.
He did kind of say he was like curious about the ghost lights and
Okay.
also just observing your proceedings. So
We will take Soren, and then Auntie Fingers is left in charge.
She.
Maybe okay. Maybe we'll find a officer of many or some equivalent of like one of their leadership or something like that.
yeah. You want to give them orders to dig in along the coast here?
Yeah. Not orders, just suggestions. You know.
They'll be happy to take orders. If you're looking at who's left, you can see that they're like lost, frightened, and confused as they look around this place. So they are happy to have somebody taking charge and seeming to know what they're doing.
Now's
They
your
look like
time,
they could use a
Captain.
bit of a pep talk.
Okay. All right. Listen up, all you fake creatures. The many. Hello. And cats. Melnikov. Very, very nice to meet you all. We didn't really have time to meet all of you. I would have otherwise. I'm ranting. We are in a very scary place. But we are here for a purpose. We are going to take that building and tear it down to its foundations, most likely. But either way, we are coming to take down the fake queen, what we all came here to do. Now we are going to go check out this ghost light, figure out more information why we're here, and then we will come right back. It is up to you to hold the line. And then we return and we move together. No one gets left behind.
Couple of them
Claps.
clap. A couple of claps.
You don't need to clap. No clapping. You are the many. You are the many of this land. This is your land. We will take it back. Yes. Okay. We go now. Bye bye.
You say that to like the dozen people standing there.
Yes. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
She left it out, but dig holes. Be hidden.
If not, knock down trees or a building or two. Something to cover yourselves with. And also maybe start a fire like we did, just in case. But you'll be fine. I have full faith. You are the chosen few by the many.
They nod and they start carrying out the orders. You can give me a persuasion roll, Cat.
Sure. I'll give him a persuasion roll. And I'll throw this thing on. Hold on. I want to give them a proper
Ooh.
pep talk. A D12
Okay.
or a D10? I don't even remember. Yeah, it's a D12. It's not a D12.
Okay.
My bad. My bad. Hold on. I think it was a D10. Let me double check. Okay. All right, it's a D10. I'm fucking up here. There we go. It's only a third. It's only a 3.
13.
But, you know.
13. It's
Cat's cold. Everyone's cold. We want to get it over with. Go get.
They're not. Yeah, they're not big on the words, but they do seem to respond to having orders to fulfill. At least gives them something to do, makes them feel like they have a purpose here, and they respond to that. So they start kind of digging in, fortifying the area, so on and so forth. Soren is kind of like approaching the giant, and he's like, I have seen and done much in my long existence, but I must confess, traveling in the arms of a giant is not one of them. I really am getting out of my comfort zone. And he'll hop up into the giant's arm. And as Seven is making the final preparations, getting his about to cast his spell, Nimue, you're looking out towards the ghost light when you suddenly feel a cold breeze blow on the back of your neck, and then you feel a bony finger tapping on your shoulder. You turn and you see Auntie Fingers there a few inches from you, face to face. She blow up that. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. As she's staring at you, you watch her open her mouth wide, and you feel that cold breeze again seeming to come blowing out of her. As she takes two of those long fingers and reaches into the back of her mouth, and you hear an unpleasant cracking sound. She comes out holding in the palm of her hand what looks like a molar, but it has a dull gray sheen to it as if it was made of metal. She takes that and kind of closes it in her hands. You see her like roll it around a few times, and then when she opens her hand again, you see an iron coin there. She takes this coin, has a little hole in the middle of it, and she offers it to you.
Nimue will be brave and stick out her hand. Thank you, Auntie Whispers. What should we do with your coin?
You hold out your hand, she turns hers over and just drops it into your palm. It kind of weighs it down heavily, and without any further word or explanation, she turns around from you and drifts away.
We have a creepy coin.
Did you thank her?
She went so fast. Nimue screams, "Thank you!"
Do you think we can talk to her? Maybe that's what it is.
Oh, maybe. Auntie Whispers, are you there? I don't think we can talk to her.
You don't get any immediate response.
Let's hold that close. Super weird. I don't know how I feel about this. Let's just go. Let's just go. What's gonna go wrong?
In some cultures, an iron coin is used as a token when one wants to propose marriage to another. What do you think, Nimue?
Did I just accept a?
Congratulations!
What a lovely wife.
I mean, she is probably very powerful.
I will.
You can do a lot worse.
I
will
love women
steal
of
you.
power.
I will steal you the nicest dress when we get back to a regular city.
Why steal? Why did you lead with that?
What is all that?
We are distracting from the happy celebration of Nimue's engagement. Let us go.
Does it fit on your finger like a ring? The coin?
I don't know if the hole's that big.
It's not large enough to fit around your finger. No, it's a small hole, about maybe a quarter of an inch across.
I think
The
that
coin
one
is-
was made for you, Vengeance.
Oh no.
If you accept the proposal, you're supposed to wear it around your neck like a put it on a thread of leather or something.
I want to hold it up to my eye, actually, and look through it.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. Oh.
I've heard of this story. I'm a
You-
witch too.
You look through the coin, and as you do so, it's only only a tiny little opening for you to peer through. But as you hold it there, that your view through the coin seems to grow wider and wider, uh, until it was as if your vision through that eye was entirely unobstructed, and you're looking at a similar landscape. You realize, but from a different angle. And then as you look down, well, it's odd because you're not really looking down, but you feel your perspective shifting down. You can see a long blue nose protruding out from your face and long skeletal looking arms and hands. You realize that you are looking through as if you were seeing through Auntie Finger's eye. And as you come to this revelation, you see one of those long bony fingers go up and kind of lay right alongside the nose there, and then suddenly poke up into the eye, and you feel your perspective popped back to normal. You're just holding the coin there in front of it.
For a second there, I was scared I turned into anti-figures.
Into
I
your
can-
fiance?
Yes.
Truly a fate worse than death.
I can see through my beautiful fiance's eyes when I look through this coin, which should be very helpful. We could send Ant. It could be like a scouting thing. We could send Auntie ahead, or for us to just be able to, when we go, we'll be able to look back at what's happening here.
There we go. Look at that, the fingers being so. Yeah, look at this. This is beautiful. We are working together as a team. Are we going?
Y'all ready to go?
We are the few of the many. We are the chosen of the many. I have to rethink this. I hate
Okay.
writing my own speeches.
Don't think too hard. I don't need smoke giving away where we are.
What's that?
Nothing.
Let's see
You're doing
here.
such a good job.
Thank you. So are you.
You are a true friend of the group.
I guess you're not a traitor of your country.
You make it so hard to be nice to you sometimes. So
In my Snickers in
Oh,
Cat's
oh.
arms.
I was just confirming that you weren't a traitor. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Where are my player characters? Cat. Nimue. Ryland. Ugh,
Oh God.
every time.
I'm here.
7. Also large.
And in charge.
And Vengeance. Also large.
The best friend anyone could ask for.
Get these a little bit more so they don't block up too much of the map. All right. So I think we've got 1, 2, 3. Oh, you know what? I think. Oh no, I didn't miscount. Who's riding with Cat? or on Cat?
Nimue is riding with Cat.
Okay. So we've got Nimue and Cat cruising together, 7 on his own, and 3 in the arms and shoulders of Ugtag. And off you go, lifting into the air. How exactly are you guys proceeding across this stretch of ice? Are you flying high, flying low, flying somewhere in the middle? Just booking it as fast as you can, trying to go carefully? What's the deal?
Probably low, but not too low.
Oh, the right amount of low.
Yeah.
Middle.
The right amount of low that if something were in the ice and we're going to jump up and try to snatch us out of the air, we could avoid it.
I'm thinking like a 30, 40 feet up.
Yeah. The right amount.
The right amount.
Right amount of ice.
Honestly, if there was a kraken or something like that in there, I think it would be longer than whatever. All right, yeah, let's go somewhere in the middle. Just flying fast.
Take
Okay.
whatever monster you have in there, Anthony. And we're gonna do 10 more than its reach.
Got it. Okay. Okay, hang on, let me think
Final
about
fucking
that.
boss.
So
If it starts,
whatever monster I have in there.
our point is, if it starts looking like a final boss arena,
Uh-huh.
we're not going that way.
Okay. Right. Well, you guys, so I'm hearing like 30-ish feet is what you guys are saying.
40.
Just
I'm feeling a 40.
feeling a solid 40. Okay. Off you
Oh.
guys go.
Nimue, do you have a ranged weapon?
I do. I still have the longbow. Just the longbow.
All right. Can you shoot a longbow while in my arms?
Maybe. Kind of like.
Like grab you
Yeah,
by
yeah.
like the shoulders. If not, I have a crossbow. I'll load up the crossbow and have it within like reach for you.
How are you
Okay.
gonna load a
Grab
crossbow
it.
while carrying her?
That Patrick.
I know where to grab. I know where the bolts are, where the bow
Yeah.
is.
It's fine. We're friends.
Yeah.
We'll do stuff. It's okay.
We'll do stuff.
We'll figure it out. If not, we'll just throw stuff at her, at whatever was going on.
All right. You guys make your arrangements, lift into the air one after the other, and begin to scoot along. Let's see. You can cover 120 feet around if you're dashing, which means that I don't know. You can clear one of these squares. Actually, you can do this pretty quick. Yeah, it would take a little over a minute of flight to cover this distance. So you set off. It's just a quick trip, full speed.
Why do you say that with a smirk on your face, though?
You are cruising 40 feet above the ground, above the ice, and trying to get this over with as fast as you can. You easily make it out past the stretch of the solid-looking ice, and here, with the benefit of a bit of elevation, Ryland, Nimue, those of you who were like observing the ice before and saw that it had movement to it further out, now you can see that like this is the section where it's starting to move, and from a few tens of feet above the ground, you actually realize, looking out in every direction, the movement is not just from west to east, but it actually seems to be spiraling, as if it was circling around this island in the middle.
That sure is some creepy stuff.
And as you're passing by these kind of stringy looking barrier islands that are all stretched out, you see a section of the flowing ice suddenly erupt upwards ahead of you. I'm going to need you guys to give me initiative rolls.
Bitch.
I told you I wanted to fly higher than that, Anthony.
Well, you're not the one who's piloting, so... The ones who are really going to matter here are going to be Seven, Cat, and Ugtag. You better hope Ugtag's got a good initiative roll.
Cat didn't. Oh no.
Ugtag is moving with all of the speed of a stone giant. 1, 2, 3, 4.
When has Cat ever had a good initiative score?
There's
You're right. She's at like 1.
I'm gonna roll this one in secret. Wait a second. Actually, about the best possible result for you guys. Nimue, you are the first to react. You are of course clinging to Cat. All of you see this happen. And the ice appears to have erupted about 50 feet ahead of you. And you're still like, this is so instantaneous that the chunks of ice are still flying through the air as initiative is starting here. You can see like water that seems to be splashing up along with it, but in all of the sort of frothing foam and flying debris, you don't see what caused the explosion. What do you do?
Since we can't see it yet, I'll see if I can draw back my bow while I'm in Cat's arms. Am I able to get a full pullback?
We'll say you can draw your bow, but it's very awkward in this position. You're going to be making any attacks at disadvantage.
Okay.
How about a crossbow?
Yeah. Then I just have to point and shoot.
That might work a little better.
I think then feeling the awkwardness, I'll stow my bow. I'm going to feel around Cat and grab the crossbow and grab her thing of bolts on her side. Now,
Which isn't many, honestly. I think I have like 10 left.
Get me in there, Cat-chan. I'm just ready to fire when something comes out of that water.
Okay, I guess we are going in.
Swap the crossbow and hold a shot at the ready. 7.
How far above water level are these pieces of ice shooting up? Like, does it look like we could climb and in altitude and just get out of it?
Possibly. I mean, the explosion is pretty big. You see some of the smaller chunks of ice hurtling up past you, up to maybe 60, 70, 80 feet of height. But you could you're reacting quickly, so you could maybe pull up. It is still a little in front of you as well. It's not directly below you.
Okay. In that case, geez, I don't know. I guess Seven will use a bonus action to start his blade song, and then he's going to uh, avert his movement from sprinting forward and try to climb up 40 feet higher.
Okay.
And well, I don't know. So this thing is like straight in front of us, or is it like off to one side?
The hole is pretty much straight in front of you, but it's pretty much right between you and the island, but it's about 50 feet ahead.
Okay, yeah, he's just gonna start moving up. He's gonna climb up another. I guess 45 feet is the limit of his movement.
Okay.
And then yeah, he's going to I guess conjure a magma bolt and just hold it. If he sees something good to shoot at,
All right.
he'll shoot at it.
Okay. Very good. Magma bolt. Let me put the little flying thingy on those who are flying as well. And dog tag. All of them are at 40, except for Seven, who has just climbed to 85, kind of halted his forward movement, and is ascending upwards now, trying to get away from the blast. Ryland, you're in the arms of a giant.
In the arms of a giant. So it's me, Vengeance, or me and Vengeance, the only one on the giant.
And Soren.
Soren.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
Although Soren does not seem to be particularly keen on doing anything at the moment. He's clinging to Ogtag's arm.
Yeah, Ron's just gonna call. What in the heck is going on? Be ready for anything, y'all. And he's just gonna do emboldening bond on all four of us. Myself,
All right.
Ogtag, Soren, and Vengeance.
Okay. Vengeance?
Being that I'm the one actually sitting on Ogtag's shoulder, it's like a nice little child. I'm just gonna pull the bow out and just ready an arrow in case someone comes up.
Yeah, if anything, you guys, it's actually a little easier for you guys on the giant, because the giant's able to hold you very securely and easily without any awkwardness, so you can kind of maneuver a little bit more. But yeah, you can ready your bow up on top of the giant's shoulders.
I'm just sitting up here like this, just.
Cat.
Man, honestly, I don't. Has any time passed where we can see what?
It's still blasting up in every
that doesn't-
direction.
That doesn't bode well. Is Ogtag? Oh, Ogtag hasn't moved yet.
But he's glowing.
What's my
green.
flying speed?
With fly, it should be 60 feet,
60 feet. Man,
if I remember correctly.
I want because I want to space out a little bit because we're probably the most vulnerable, and I want to be able to cover Ogtag. Well, Nimue is going to cover Ogtag, so we'll probably maneuver a little bit higher, maybe 20 feet higher, to hover between like Ogtag and Seven, kind of just spacing out right now.
Okay, so you go up to about 60 feet in elevation.
Yeah.
And you're kind of near Ogtag, but a little ahead of him, flying along.
Yeah. Just like equidistant between like 7 and Ogtag.
Sure. And as for your action, anything that you can or want to do?
I'm gonna discuss it with Nimue, but I have an idea. It would be if something pops up, would you be cool if I throw you? And then I'll come down and pick you back up.
I trust you, Katjan.
I'll only do
Let's
it if
do
it's something that it looks good. We'll figure it out, but like I won't do it on a whim. So I'll figure it out. Because if you're going down, I'm going down with you. So
Okay.
it's exploding ice hole. Jesus.
The exploding ice hole is continuing to erupt, but it is starting to clear a little bit now. The largest chunks of ice come crashing back to the ocean's surface and creating new holes of their own as they punch right through the surface of the ice and back into the water, bobbing around in there. The spray of frigid salt water that went up in every direction begins to thin, and you see a shape coming out of the ice. It looks large, but then it seems to spread out and get even larger as you see glistening white wings burst out on either side of the mist, sending a spray of glistening ocean water sparkles out in either direction. And a large reptilian head with icy blue eyes emerges on a long neck as the white dragon bursts forth with a roar.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said dragon.
Yeah, he said dragon, sir.
Hey, Zichik, we are not doing this.
Can we try talking to him? Hold up.
It lifts off into the air, up out of the water, rising and moving towards you, flapping its wings and letting out a long roar that forms into words for anyone who might speak Draconic. Is that a no from everyone?
I speak Draconic, apparently.
Nimue, you hear the words "Trespassers" as it opens its mouth.
Saying common, it's very angry. Just saying.
And a gout,
Reasonably angry?
and a gout of frigid white ice and frost erupts from its mouth.
Holy fuck.
It is going to be able to hit a few of you in its cone.
Whew, good thing I'm definitely not in that.
Definitely Ryland, Soren, Vengeance, Otag. And since Kat and Nimue were kind enough to stay only about 20 feet away from them,
God
they
damn
can
it.
also be
I knew I
caught
should have
in
spaced
the
out
blast.
more.
do I get my...
Vengeance. Sorry.
Spacing.
Yes, any of you who took readied actions, you can get them as this thing is spreading its wings and lunging into the air towards you.
Do I even want to magma bolt this thing?
it's at the ready. You could do it.
That's 27 to hit the dragon.
Yeah, that's a hit.
And sorry, I meant to say this before, but I'm doing steady aim because I literally can't move.
I'm pretty sure you can't do steady aim on not your turn. I'm pretty sure it has to be on your turn.
It says bonus action if I haven't moved, so would I've had to
As a
call that?
bonus action, you give yourself advantage on your next attack roll on the current turn. It's got to be on your turn.
Damn it!
Yeah, unfortunately. But
Well-
that is a hit.
God damn it! I didn't mean to roll that again. Sorry, ignore that.
Yeah, 7. You hit it with magic. You blast it. 23 points of fire damage is pretty impressive. 11 points of piercing on the bow. Nimue, your crossbow hits it but glances off of its scales.
Man.
Real
So that's-
awkward. Real awkward.
34 points of damage.
Are we sure we want to attack the big
Okay.
dragon? that
It's
just erupted
attacking
out?
us!
And now I need everybody except for Vengeance. God damn it. No, that's not right. I need everybody except for 7 to give me. I'm gonna hate this one. You rogues with your evasion out there. A Constitution saving throw.
Yes.
And Otag, myself, Vengeance,
And
and
Ogtag will,
Soren get plus
Yes.
D4.
Oh, I don't think it's helping me at all.
you get plus what? D4?
Yeah, plus a D4.
Nope.
All right.
17 for Rhineland.
I got a 7.
Ogtag has an amazing constitution, actually. But I rolled a 2 or a 3. God. Great. Ogtag has a 12.
A little better than me.
So Cat, that's an 18. Nimue, what did you roll?
I got 18
as well.
too, yeah.
Okay. Those are failures.
God damn it.
Ryland failed. Vengeance
Yeah, that's fail.
failed. Ogtag failed in a disappointing display. Soren is going to make a roll as well, even though he's not even in initiative because he's clinging to the giant's arm. But he may die, so he's a pretty sturdy fellow to have lived so long. But that is not. He gets the D4. I mean, it's not going to help him. Yeah, 16. He fails. This is gonna be rough, guys. Hang on really tight.
Wait, what did he fail?
He
All of us
failed
fail Constitution.
the Constitution.
To maintain concentration.
From the breath attack.
No. Soren got hit by the breath attack along with the rest of y'all, except for 7. Here we go. This is going to be a lot of damage. Cold damage. Not a bad roll. 66. Below average. So doing good. 66 points of damage to everyone who just made a Constitution saving throw.
I'm gonna use my fucking, I guess, fucking goddamn, what is it, evasion to take half of it? No. Where's the fucking thing?
No, that's for deck saves.
No, there's some I get like 1 turn out of combat. I get to take half damage.
Yeah, that's for attacks. It's not for a breath, dragon's breath.
God damn it! I was hoping.
It was a valiant effort, but unfortunately, I don't think there's anything that's going to save you from that. The dragon continues its flight, zipping underneath of you, and swinging around, kind of doing this quick tight turn as it arcs back so that it is now approaching you from behind. And it's very close to Ogtag.
How close?
Well, it started about 50 feet from Ogtag. By the time it finishes pivoting around, it's about 30 feet behind Ogtag.
Perfect.
Oh. Is this perfect? In what situation is this perfect?
Oh wait, never mind. That's not even gonna work. Never mind. Not good.
Let's just call it a white dragon. And it is
Who wants to die
Ogtag's
in a death of
turn.
glory?
Ogtag took 66
Death of
points of
glory.
cold damage.
Jesus.
He's incredibly sturdy though, and massive, and he does not slacken his grip on the three of you at all. However, he does seem to be frightened and unsure of what to do. He roars out some words in giant, and he is going to just instinctively fly away from the dragon, using his fly speed to get another 60 feet ahead. Of course, at the scale, nothing will really make sense, but he's going to push ahead of the rest of you, opening the total distance. Well, let's assume he's dashing, so 120 feet.
My man.
So he is going to be a total of 150 feet away from the dragon by the end of this, and the dragon is at about his level, about 40 feet off the ground. Nimue, it's the top of the round, and you are up.
I will bonus action activate the tattoo. And I know I can speak Draconic, but I'm honestly not sure what to say. I don't think anything that we said could persuade it. So I think I'll just do a crossbow bolt shot at it.
If you want, we
No.
could I'll ask, do you want to attack this thing, or do you want to run?
You know, gotcha. maybe we should run.
Okay, then never mind. Do what you're doing. I'm gonna run then. That's what I'm gonna do.
So what are you doing?
I'm really curious what would happen if we did like dive bomb this thing, but I don't know if we would come back from it. Maybe we just
I don't
like
think we'd
splat
come
into
back
the
from
water. Yeah, yeah. So I'll just I'll shoot a little bolt at it to see what I can do.
Oh my god.
Reload the crossbow, take another shot. $17. You launch another bolt. You see it strike the massive creature, but once again, you just see it go ping and go flying off into the ocean.
I'll try one more time.
I hate to say this, but I think you only get one crossbow attack per round
Yeah.
unless you're a crossbow expert.
Can't extra attack. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I've got the arms just in case and ready to go.
Okay. 7.
Fuck. I mean, Seven thinks our only hope is to seek cover in the ghost light. Really, just doesn't think we can fight a protracted air battle against the dragon. So yeah, he's going to tell everyone to book it to the ghost light. Hope we can find a way in and escape this thing. And he's going to sprint towards the island.
All right, how fast can he go?
I guess if I sprint, I can go 90 feet.
90 feet. Okay. That is going to put you trailing a little bit behind Ogtag, but I think that puts you about 40 feet behind Ogtag, but still at the higher elevation.
Okay, and this cone, could I tell roughly how wide it was? I mean, not exactly, but like at its maximum extreme, like what was the width, kind of?
A little.
It was like 100 feet, like 50 feet, like what?
An estimation. This cone, yeah, you had a good aerial view of your friends getting blasted up above. It looked like maybe pushing 100 feet.
Okay. And right now I'm like, I would have been,
You're 45 feet above Ogtag, about 85 feet in the air.
Fuck. All right. Well, it is what it is. Just hope he doesn't recharge it and sprint to the island.
Okay. Mad dash. Ryland.
How far did you say we are from this thing now?
You're about 150 feet.
How far did it look like the dragon moved on his turn?
Well, he started about 50 feet ahead of you and ended up about 30 feet behind you.
A lot of movement, a lot of movement.
Let me just pull up my backup character real quick.
Give me a flip a coin to decide which one I'm going to use.
I need to roll a d3 for mine.
Let me make sure.
All of our backup characters will appear in the palace.
Been prisoners of the Fake Queen for years.
All along.
Yeah.
Just wander out of the village upon our many friends.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, I can just do that. I'm just going to channel divinity, balm of peace, to everyone that Ogtag is holding him, because I should be within 5 feet of all of them.
That was 30. Oh, yeah. You're only 7's about 30 feet behind Ogtag, but he is 120 feet from the dragon.
So that is 2d6 plus 5. Okay, so my vengeance, Ogtag, Soren, and myself get back 10 hit points.
It's the same for Cat. 10 hit points for Ogtag, Soren, and Vengeance. Got it.
That's it for me.
Yeah, Soren, you're not really sure what's happening with Soren, but like he's just been clutching to Ogtag the entire time. Can't really see anything behind that mask and all those robes. Vengeance.
All right, now I'm gonna take that steady aim and shoot at the dragon again. Ooh, not that high. 1 second. Hold up. Nope.
That is unfortunately a miss, even with the +1.
Damn
I
it.
think that's it for you.
Yep.
Cat?
I'm booking it, man. Full movement.
You're not
one's a
120 feet from the dragon. You haven't moved yet, so you're
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah.
if you book it, you'll end up You'll end up along with Odtag just above him.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and reach a higher elevation. How high in elevation am I from him?
Right now you're I think 20 feet. You said so.
20
you
feet.
You could easily put more distance between you.
Yeah. I'd rather. How high up is 7?
He's at 85.
85. I'd like to get to 65. That makes sense to me.
So you want to go up another 5 feet?
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go up to 75, another 10 feet and up in the air.
All right.
Just to get some kind of space, but I'm focusing on booking it. So trying to like book backward. So
Okay.
Continuously turning so Nimue always has a shot.
So that additional height will put you a little bit behind Ogtag, but not very far.
As long as we're all relatively together.
Yeah, you're all pretty close. I'm gonna have to adjust all these numbers in a second though, because the dragon is up and coming your way. He's still sort of at Ogtag's level. And he's coming forward about 80 feet. Which means this will go down to 70, and this will go down to 60. My math is good. And he is going to roll a little d6 here. Okay. He continues to roar, not unleashing another burst of frigid cold, but instead dashing.
Oh, fuck.
He goes shooting up and right alongside Ogtag, Vengeance, Ryland, Soren, basically flying side by side with them as he easily closes the distance down to 0. That technically, if he moved 80 feet, he is now 40 feet ahead of you, 7. And now 10 feet ahead of you, Cat. And also below Cat and 7. That is his turn. Ogtag is going to continue doing what he's been doing, which is desperately try to get away from the dragon at full speed. He's going to get Can I grab all y'all? It's not letting me do it for some reason. I want you. Come on. Whatever. It's just relative anyway. No, that's not what I wanted to do. He will once again aim to put 120 feet between you guys and the dragon. However, doing so at this point blank range provokes an opportunity attack.
For all of us or just for him?
Technically, for the rest of y'all, it's forced movement. And so it's just Ogtag who provokes. And the dragon is going to try to take a bite out of him. It might miss. It rolls a natural 1. It rolls a natural 1.
It bites itself with a wing. It can't fly for 3d6 turns. Oh no.
Oh my god.
It bites its tongue. It can't use its breath attacks anymore.
Yep.
Well, we've been using these cards all along. I suppose now is not the time to ignore them. You cannot make an unarmed attack on your next turn. Well, I'm going to say that applies to the bite specifically. But it does seem that its jaws have clamped down on, themselves in a weird way. Maybe it did, in fact, bite its tongue a little bit. And it roars in frustration as Ogtag continues his movement. At this point, Ogtag is about you can't really go by the map since there's no way to accurately portray these distances on here, but Ogtag is at this point about 3 rounds away from cover. 3 rounds. Or at least from reaching the edge of the island, I should say. Nimue is up.
Suppose I'll try to do whatever I can do. So I'm gonna Hunter's Mark the dragon. I'm gonna try and fire a shot. $16.
16 is another miss, unfortunately.
I had a funny thought in my head that I wish I could use Step of the Wind to hit Cat's key points. Give her Step of the Wind. Keep going, Catcha. We can make it.
All right.
I feel so alive.
All right. And it's at this point that the bolt bounces off of the dragon. And then it's going to do something legendary action related.
God.
It flaps its wings, and you can see that the force of those wings is just pushing massive volumes of air all around it, even up about... Wait, how many feet are you away from it? Okay, you're far enough. Even 25 feet above it, Cat, you can feel turbulence as this thing just starts powering its wings and flies an additional 40 feet forward, still pursuing Otag. Now putting those of you behind the dragon even further behind. 80 feet for 7, 50 for Cat, and closing it down to only 80 feet from Ogtag. So I'm gonna spread you guys out a little bit more because your actual placement on the map is kind of irrelevant at this point, but it's gonna help to visualize a little. So the situation is currently a little bit like this. You're kind of all in the same line. Vengeance is the highest, Cat's in the middle, Ogtag is the lowest in the front, and the dragon is at Ogtag's level, 40 feet, and he's kind of right in between Seven and Ogtag. And Seven, it is your turn.
Sorry, I'm unable to click anything, but I think Seven is still sprinting towards the island.
Okay. 90 feet will put you actually just a little ahead of the dragon now. Just a little ahead of it.
Okay, then that sounds good.
Are you still like taking the straightest path there, or are you trying to keep distance like between yourself and the dragon?
Oh boy. I mean, I'm not going to try to fly right through it, obviously, but yeah. I mean, at this point, the ghost light seems like the only possible sanctuary here, so he's trying to get there as fast as he can.
Okay. All right. So you are now like above the dragon, looking down at it, 45 feet above it, and a little bit ahead.
All right.
All right. Ryland.
Yep, Ryland is preparing a spell, and he is going to hold on to it until this dragon gets within 60 feet of him. And that's going to be a banishment that he's holding.
Fascinating. Vengeance.
Vengeance is gonna do what he's been doing. Just try to shoot another arrow at this thing. Hoping
Just
for the best.
keep trying. Take the shot. This time you manage to plant an arrow and it sticks.
And this one does get the sneak attack because again, steady aim in it, or whatever the hell. Yeah, steady aim.
13.
Oh
16.
my god!
Not what you want to see right now.
Literally on my screen, the one fucking dice is literally between the 5 and 1, but it took the 1.
29 more points of damage. A well-placed arrow. You're not entirely sure if the dragon notices.
It's the most damage we've done.
Cat,
Run, baby, run.
120 feet.
Straight.
Straight
No,
forward.
no more of this altitude bullshit. I'm just
Okay.
gonna go straight
You
forward.
were 50 feet behind. You are now going to be... Do good math, Anthony. You can do it. 70 feet ahead. Trailing just behind Ogtag and at a higher elevation.
And again, like Nimwe's like held like in her arms as she's like scooting back, like constantly looking over her shoulder, so Nimue can have a good shot.
Yeah, keep trying to give Nimue the shot if you can. And the dragon's up. Let's roll a little d6. Oh, your Discord message popped up just as I made the roll, so I don't know what it is. It's a 5. Now there's one question you gotta ask yourselves. Do you feel lucky? Because I'm sure many of you know that cold breath recharges. But does it recharge on a 6? Or a 5 to 6?
6.
The dragon advances forward. Once again, leaving 7 kind of behind. I'm just going to push him back a little to keep the relative positions easier to see. The dragon advances 80 feet. Which means it is able to catch up to Ogtag exactly.
And it immediately triggers my spell.
It triggers your banishment. What's the DC?
DC 18 charisma saving throw.
Mm.
Come on.
Mm.
What do you think the odds are?
Please let
What
there
do
be
you-
a god.
What do you think the odds are on this one?
I'm hoping
Pretty
it's
low.
at least like a 60-40.
Got 50-50 odds on this.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
D&D gods of luck.
It rolls a natural 20.
God damn it!
It rolls so good, you're banished, Ryland.
It is literally right on top of. In fact, it even scoots a little bit to the side of Ogtag, closing the distance down to 0. I've got to keep tracking these distances, or I know I'm going to forget them. You're now 10 behind Cat, and the dragon itself is at 0 with Ogtag, and things are going to get real ugly now. As this massive worm comes beating up to you, and you can feel every beat of its wings pushing the lot of you around. You actually have to clutch onto Ogtag just to avoid being knocked from him. And it is going to require each of you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, fucking A.
Oh, I'm good at these.
This will include literally everybody, even 7 90 feet
Oh, no.
behind.
I'm using my inspiration.
Oh. Oh man.
Maybe I will too.
I will also
Yeah,
use
I
my
will,
inspiration.
too.
Fuck that shit.
The wisdom save?
Wisdom
Man.
saving
Oh
throw.
yeah, I'm gonna be using my inspiration.
Oh, yeah, I'm fucked.
All
One
right.
more roll, baby.
I just saw a whole lot of numbers go up there. So just tell me what your result is.
33.
8.
Okay. Wisdom.
Well, that was sorry. Kevin.
33.
Okay, you're okay. Nimue,
25.
you're okay. Kat,
14.
do you have any fighter-related abilities regarding
Oh, wait,
fear?
shit, hold on. Yeah. Let me try this. I can re-roll.
You
again.
can re-roll.
God damn it.
Oh, that's really bad.
Oh,
that's
no.
really bad.
So sad.
Vengeance.
I failed, bro. Not even a question, man.
Okay, and 7.
7 isn't able to use his computer to do anything at the moment, so if you'd like to roll for me, that's fine.
I will happily roll for you, and I wish you the best.
What are you rolling for me?
A wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Sounds good.
It's a natural 20.
Oh, cool. Well, I think I have like a +5 on wisdom, so.
I see a +4 on your sheet here.
All right, sounds good.
Although I'm not entirely sure how. Assuming it's up to date, then you're good. But it's a natural 20 regardless. You're okay. So that means I need to roll for Ogtag. Should probably roll for Soren as well, as though it really doesn't matter. Ogtag is not bad at wisdom. Oh
damn it.
no!
God damn it. You had to say it.
That's bad.
Plus a
Ogtag
D4.
gets it doesn't help. It doesn't help at all. It's a 2. He's at 10. Ogtag fails. I'll do Soren for posterity. He fails. So the failures are vengeance.
Yep.
And Cat and Ogtag.
And Soren.
And also Soren. Yes, we'll include Soren. All of you who failed are frightened of the dragon.
Thank you.
In case that wasn't clear before.
That means Vengeance is about to just dive off Oak-Tag, right? 'Cause that's the
Um,
fastest way to get away from the dragon.
Ah,
So, as a refresher
Come on.
on the frightened
Giant
condition.
nuggets and checked into a hotel in the dark while playing D&D and fighting a dragon on the phone.
I don't know if you know that we can hear you, Nick, but we can, and it's amazing. Oh man, I kind of want to give him inspiration just for that. A quick refresher on the frightened condition. You have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of your fear is within line of sight. You can't willingly move closer to the source of your fear. So that's rough for those of you behind the dragon. What's even rougher, though, is the series of attacks that the dragon is about to unleash on Ogtag.
I'm sorry, okay? I was tense and I just expected you to work with me instead of
Nick,
fight.
Nick, we can hear you, Nick, just so you know. I don't know if he knows we can hear him. I'm gonna mute him for a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in case.
I'm just gonna put a message in for him. And he's gone. Okay. Lots and lots of things here. Starting with a bite.
I thought I can't bite anymore.
Sorry, what? Oh, you're right. No, it was on its next. What was that again? It was on until the end of its next turn. Let me double check that. You cannot make on your next turn. Okay. Well, this is its next turn. It can't make the bite. So that is a big deal. That's actually a very big deal. Instead, it's going to make a claw attack. Hits Ogtag. 11 points of damage. It's going to make an attack with its tail. And I think it's actually going to aim this one at good old Ryland, trying to banish it.
Whoa, aren't I on the front of this thing? In front of Otag? Shouldn't he hit the guy standing up on his shoulders?
I'm not standing. Don't you put me in that target. If anything, I'm probably like hugging Oaktag's head like, ah!
This creature has plenty of reach to target anyone on Ogtag that it wishes to.
I'll get some cover for this, right?
You want a +2 to your AC?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a +2 to your AC. If the attack would miss, except for the cover, it's going to hit Ogtag instead. Let's see. What's your
Miss.
AC?
20.
All right. Supremely lucky on those die rolls. Ogtag is still trying to make it to the island. He will once again shoot forward 120 feet. Unfortunately, this will once again provoke an opportunity attack. And now that it is no longer the dragon's turn, I believe it can make the bite. And it definitely hits.
Oh god.
For 30 points of damage in total. Ogtag is badly hurt, but being a very sturdy stone giant, he is still alive. Still flying determinedly towards the island. 120 feet away from the dragon. I'm going to move him ahead, as well as all the rest of y'all. Now officially 2 rounds from the island itself. Man, that was one long round. At the end of Ogtag's turn, the dragon is going to pop a legendary action. And he's going to 25 feet above him. What a shame. He's going to keep on flying and advance 40 feet ahead. Which will now put him 80 feet from Ogtag again. And 50 feet. And a whopping 130 feet from Seven, who is the back of the pack. Nimue, it's your turn.
Since hitting him isn't really like the most productive thing to do, I think I'm going to cure wounds my flyer, just so Cat has a little more HP to keep us in the air.
You don't happen to have a heroism on you, do you?
Nope, I don't.
Damn.
I only have 3 spells. It's not one.
That's okay.
Hello, can you all hear me now?
I'll just fly at an
Yeah.
angle.
Okay, cool.
It's 8 points, but it's 8 points you didn't have.
All right, 8 points of healing. Anything else for Nimue?
I think that's about all.
Okay.
Are you okay,
Um,
Gotcha? You look scared. Keep going.
I am
Oh, yeah.
terrified.
I
It's
almost
just a
forgot.
dragon.
it's just a dragon.
Don't worry.
I almost forgot that Ogtag, at the end of his turn, technically gets another Wisdom save against the fear, which he fails again. So, yeah, Nimue, you're not scared, so you're good. 7, it's your turn. The dragon has pushed ahead of you. It's now 130 feet ahead of you. You are currently not frightened of it, so that's good.
Okay, great. What's happened to my my friends? I assume I'm very far from them at this point.
Yeah, you're lagging a little bit behind Cat and Nimue, and way behind Ogtag. The dragon seems to be pursuing the giant, and yeah, you've kind of been left in the rear here.
All right. How far behind Ogtag do you think I am?
You are 210 feet behind him.
Oh boy. And he's running away from the ghost light now.
He's still headed towards the ghost light.
Okay.
He's frightened, but he's able to flee towards the ghost light, so that's what he's doing.
All right. And Cat and Nimue are not frightened.
Cat is.
Oh, Cat is. And how close is Cat to me?
She is 80 feet.
80 feet.
Plus about 10 feet down.
All right, then 7 is going to use a bonus action to Silver Step, which is Misty Step, 30 feet closer to Cat. And then he's going to... Oh, wait, but before I do that, I'm not in front of my computer, but I think the crown, if I use it, gives immunity to fear. Is that right?
I believe that is one of numerous things that it does, yes.
Okay. Well, if it does that, then 7's going to use his Misty Step plus movement to get as close to Cat as he can, and then he's going to use the crown to give whoever's in 30 feet, I guess that's just the 2 of them, immunity to the fear condition.
Okay. Misty Step puts you, I believe, 50 feet away from her. The crown does indeed grant immunity, but only to allies within 30 feet. You do have the remaining. You can fly closer and then use the crown if you want.
Right. So he's gonna, if I'm 50 or 60 feet away, he's gonna fly, 30 feet closer or whatever, and then use it.
Okay, so you can fly to get. If you use all 45 feet, that would put you just 5 feet behind Cat.
Oh boy, that sounds a little too close.
You wanna stay at the 30-foot range?
Yeah, I'll stay at the 30 feet, and as soon as I'm in range of for the crown, I'll use it then, and that's my bonus action, and movement. So I guess that's my turn.
Got it. All right. So
Sorry for the technical difficulties earlier, guys. I had to fire the help.
that's okay. You're now 80 feet from the dragon, 30 feet from Cat, and you activate the crown. Cat, you suddenly feel the stolid, reassuring presence behind you. You look back and you see Seven there, and the crown. It's funny, even though he's still wearing it under his suit, you swear you can see a gleam off the top of his head as if he was wearing a shining, sparkling helm. And you are no longer frightened. Very nicely done, Seven.
Obviously, it wasn't the crown. It was just Seven that gave him that steadied her heart.
Ryland, you're up.
Yeah, Ryland's just gonna hold another spell.
Another banish. Okay. All right, maybe you can get it on the second one. Vengeance?
All right. If I use steady aim,
Yeah, no, sorry, you're good. Go ahead, Vengeance.
if I use steady aim, is it just a straight attack roll, no disadvantage or advantage?
Correct.
Cool, I'm gonna do that. Ah, fuck me.
Oh man. Oh, this is a rough day for Vengeance.
Don't you say that about my buddy. He's doing great.
Ricochet.
Doing such a good job.
Vengeance, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw on that critical failure.
With the D4.
All right, you're okay. The weapon may have ricocheted there, but you managed to avoid that at least. Actually, that would have been really bad. that could have made you blinded.
Oh god.
All right.
Do I get a roll for the fears?
You do get a roll at the end of the round for the fears.
That's wisdom, right?
It is wisdom saving throw again.
Plus a D4.
And it is a fail.
Plus a D4?
Oh, wait.
18.
An 18. You're no longer afraid.
Feel Ryland's touch. It gave me some strength there.
All right.
Wait, why is Soren not in initiative order?
Because Soren is literally clinging for dear life.
Oh, okay.
Soren hasn't revealed much of what he can or can't do yet, and so far it mostly seems like he can do nothing.
So he's Van Richten all over again.
Uh-oh.
That means it is Cat's turn.
Is there any obvious place where we can go on this tower?
On the tower
ghost
itself?
light? Yeah, on the tower
I mean,
itself.
you could try to touch down somewhere at the base of it, but I mean, you're still rounds away from the edge of the island, let alone the several extra hundreds of feet to the ghost light itself.
Do you think if I dashed, like banking past this this big old dragon, and then action surge to get another dash in there, right?
That would let you, with action surge, move a total of 180 feet. That would put you well in front of the dragon, and about 1.5 rounds away from the shoreline.
Damn. It seems like the dragon really wants to kill Otag and the boys. So,
Otag and the boys.
Otag and the boys. So Kat is with solid heart. She's just gonna start diving and just start flying as fast and hard as she can. Fuck it. Let's burn an action surge. Go 180 feet.
And you wanna drop down to a lower elevation?
Drop down to a lower elevation, getting close to like she's aiming for the base of the tower, basically. She's going as fast and as hard as she can.
All right. So you begin to drop down. Let's say you drop down 30 feet, which would put you at 45 feet, right at about the same level as the dragon, but well ahead of it. As
Okay. All right.
You cruise past it. Let's see. You were 50 feet behind. 180 feet means you end up. Let's less a little bit since you're dropping. Call that 170. You're going to be 120 feet ahead of the dragon, and technically a little further even than these guys. And remember, don't bother with the map because nothing there is to scale. Just look at the relative positions.
I was a little confused for a second. I'm like, but I'm right there. I'm right there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's two.
Don't bother with the map. It's just look at the position of yourself and your allies and the dragon in the air.
And just in case, I guess since I still don't have my bonus action, no, I don't because I just use it for action search.
You do have your bonus action.
Oh, I do. Yeah,
action
I do.
surge does not require a bonus. Action.
I'll just hit myself with my second wind.
All right.
Just in case.
Two more hit points. Okay. The dragon is up. It's going to close the distance down again. And it is pretty much right behind Ogtag, which will bring it to basically 0 again, bring Cat to just 40 feet ahead of it, bring Vengeance or 7 to 160 feet behind it.
I believe Rylan shot off that banishment in hopes again.
Rylan shot off the banishment on a hope and a prayer, and
bro. Oh wait, Anthony seems like he's about to say something.
And the dragon ignores it.
Oh, fuck.
Damn.
God damn.
Legendary resistance. The big boys have it. And he has just burned one use of it.
Dumb bitch.
To ignore banishment. He opens his mouth wide. And you can see the frost beginning to form on his fangs. He exhales another gout of frigid air, enough to catch all y'all except for 7 once again. I'm gonna need those Constitution saving throws again.
21.
21.
Ah, damn.
Vengeance, 16.
19.
19. Nimue,
19.
19. Cat,
12.
12. Actually 12.
Well,
Okay. I didn't mean it that way. I just wasn't sure if there were any modifiers to that.
yeah, that's it. Big sad.
That's a failure for everyone.
Everyone?
Everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll roll really low.
I
Or
don't think
maybe
it's
all
gonna
of you
matter.
are about to be in trouble.
I don't think it's gonna matter either.
Big trouble. Another 66. Who is still conscious?
Me using uncanny dodge.
It is not an attack.
It's an attack. It's not an attack. How is it not an attack?
It's attacks are specifically an attack roll against you. It's a saving throw, unfortunately. Two different classes of things.
Well, I'm out.
Yep.
Vengeance, unconscious. Oh,
I'm
I didn't
unconscious.
roll for Ogtag.
Are
I
you
got
up?
you.
Gotcha.
Oh
Thanks, Kat.
yeah, baby.
I trust
Oh,
you with
yeah.
my life.
As she goes to sleep.
Yep.
Ogtag's having a rough time. Ogtag was, if he had been able to fly this round, he would have been 1 round away from the shoreline. Instead, he plummets to the ground, skidding across shifting ice. I'm gonna put him roughly where he would actually be on the map now, since...
So we all take fall damage on this too, right?
Yeah. And, roll here. Okay. Fortunately, he wasn't that high above the ground. The fall damage doesn't actually matter at this point, because all of you are unconscious, right?
Yeah, the only one up is Cat now, holding Nimue.
Yeah,
Okay.
doesn't that mean we take a failing death save though if we take any damage?
It does mean that you all are at an automatic failed death save.
Jesus Christ.
On the ground, skidding across broken ice, you finally come to a halt about 200 feet or so from the shoreline. Still. Cat, Nimue, alive. Well, Cat is at least, is a little bit closer to the shoreline at about 160 feet and still in the air. The dragon roars triumphantly as it sees its prey finally drop to the ground, and it is still technically overhead at the end of its turn. Ogtag needs to make another death save. And passes his first one. Or I forgot, we normally do these quietly, don't we? But, Nimue, unconscious in Cat's arms, I need you to make a death saving throw.
Quiet death save. Show. Oh, whisper.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's what we do that in this game, right? That was...
Yeah.
Thanks.
We've been following that rule. I always mix that up, which games we do that in and which ones we don't.
Damn. Hold on.
I think if you do GM R and then roll it. Nope, that's not right. Hang on. Okay, you need to type out /R or /GM roll. I mean, and then the die.
All one word, or?
All one word. Okay.
Get it.
7.
Oh wait, it's my turn,
It's your turn.
and everybody's dead.
Ogtag and everyone riding with him has just crashed into the ground 160 feet ahead of you, still 200 feet from the shoreline. Kat seems to still be conscious, although you can see Nimue slumped in her arms.
Seven stabs himself in the eyeball. I mean, I don't know. I don't. He can't save everyone from a dragon. What's he gonna do? Right? Just end it quickly, I guess. I don't know. Well, I'll throw a firebolt at the dragon, a magma bolt.
A magma
Shall I?
bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's 120 feet. I think you'd need to move up, but you do have the movement to get in range.
I mean, any of my spells, he's just gonna legendary resist. So I don't know what I can really do, guys. Can't bring anyone back.
This is the part where Safine pops in and just aids, right?
We're
Yeah,
back
right.
again to save everyone.
We just do our best like the outsiders can.
All right. Well, is Cat still flying? Yeah,
She
you're
is.
still
She's
flying,
still
right?
flying.
Yep.
Mhm.
She's still flying. So I can't
I
drop
have an idea.
concentration.
Yeah, I have an idea. It's not a good one, but I have an
What?
idea.
Oh my god, I know what you're gonna do.
Okay. I can't get that close to the dragon, can I? I'm pretty far away.
You are 160 at the start of your turn.
Eek. I don't think I can do anything. I'll just, I'll fly a bit closer and try to dive down a bit, hoping that somebody's still alive and I could feed them a basic healing potion or something. And I'll flip a finger at the dragon, and anyone who's close enough, which is probably no one, can hear Seven say, "I fucking hate dragons." And that's about it.
All right, so you're flying in the hopes that you can heal someone.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a sprint at a
Okay.
downward angle towards the fallen party members.
All right. That'll get you. Let's see, 90. So that'll get you 50 feet away from them this round. And you're also dropping down in elevation. Say you're halfway down in your descent, about 45 feet above the
Yep.
group, and still trailing behind the dragon a little bit. Ryland, I need a saving throw.
Did we? I can't remember because it's been so long since we. And bowling bond doesn't give me the +4 for the death save. Because we established that it persists through death because it's not a concentration thing.
Right. I believe it technically applies. Death saving throws are saving throws. If it applies to other saving throws, I think it still applies to death. Okay. Who else rolled a death saving throw? Just Nimue, right? Who wasn't under the emboldening bond. Okay. Vengeance, I'm going to need one from you as well, and I'm going to need it. Remember the emboldening bond.
Is it /GM roll enter and then roll, or just have it in the bar and then click it?
It's /GM roll space and then the one.
It'll look like
D20.
what I just typed.
Oh, you just gave yourself a +4 on it, huh?
Oh, whoops! It would 1d4. Oh. Oops. I did. Let me re-roll that for you.
It should be 1d20 plus 1d4.
Yep.
Okay.
That was a good catch.
Did it work? There it goes.
It did. All right.
How do death saves work again? What is a pass? What's a fail?
10 and above is a pass.
Gotcha.
9 and below is a fail. Cat. I'm fascinated to hear this plan.
It's not a good plan.
But it's a plan.
Like, it's not even remotely. I honestly like to classify it as a plan isn't really a good word for it.
An
It's
idea's an
more of,
idea.
Like, it's more of like a dramatic last stand.
Go ahead and roll that animal handling.
Those are the best.
We know what you're doing.
What?
What are you doing? Go ahead, finish.
Did you just say animal handling?
Figure you're gonna
No.
jump on it.
God, no, no. What?
I had that dragon.
Jesus. I'm not that dumb. Cat's not that dumb. But now that you say it out loud, I mean, no, I wouldn't do that. If I move my full movement, including a dash, would I actually get to the shoreline?
You are 160, so 120. You'd be just shy, about 40 feet
Jesus.
shy.
40 feet shy. Okay. From here, can I see whether or not there's like at least a patch of ice really close to the shore?
Yeah, I mean the whole area is kind of frozen over. It's just that the ice doesn't look very stable. It's always shifting slightly.
Shit. And to clarify, the shore you mean by this arm, like this hurricane arm?
Yeah, the edge
Okay.
of this peninsula.
Wow, holy fuck. We're really not close to anything, are we? I guess Cat is just gonna use... this is such a terrible situation to be in. Fuck it. If we're going out, we're going out like warriors, man.
That's right.
Cat's gonna fly down to the most stable looking patch of ice she can, close to the shore as she can, using her dash if she needs to. And just touch down on the ice, place Nimue down on the most secure patch of ice, then draw her sword and just turn, just stare down this dragon. She's gonna thump her chest.
All right,
Hit.
lay Nimue down. Draw your sword. The dragon. It circles around. And you see it like cock its head to the side, almost like a bird, turning one eye down to look at those lying on the ice. Sees that they aren't moving. Sees Cat calling out at it, looks back at Seven, hitting it with fire.
To be fair, that was a while ago.
It was like 30 seconds ago.
That was literally last round.
I mean, a lot's happened since then. It might have changed its mind about things. I don't know.
Cat is closer, and Cat is who the dragon turns its attention to next. It swoops down, leaving the others as it kind of circles around you, Cat. It's got enough movement that it just like swings in an arc as it drops lower and lower and comes to touchdown basically on the far side of you, letting out a ferocious roar. You can make out syllables in there, but you don't speak Draconic. You don't know what its final words to you are. What you do know is that it is opening its maw and lashing out. A 33 to hit you.
Oh,
Oh, dear God.
do I have anything? I don't think I do.
That's
Yeah.
a total of 29 points of damage, 10 of it cold.
Oof. I am going down. Yeah. I am down. Basically,
All
Cat
right.
would barely have time to shield with her sword and then go right down, or be taken in the jaws of this fucking monster.
She lifts her shield up to defend. Her sword is at the ready. She's doing everything right. But how do you defend against something like this? Its jaws just snap down on either side of her, the shield laughably small in its giant mouth as it takes her and picks her up, crunching down, breathing frigid cold onto her as its teeth pierce through armor and mail and into flesh. And then, like some massive hound, it just takes that long neck and begins to shake back and forth. And then it opens its jaws, and Cat goes skidding across the ice to slide over next to the unconscious Nimue. And the dragon takes another step or two closer. You see it raising up one of those massive claws. And then there's only one person conscious to see this. And that's Seven, floating in the air, rushing forward, thinking that perhaps killing himself would be better than letting this dragon do the job. When you hear a voice call out, Thraxmunder. I liked that one. And the dragon pauses.
Oh, god damn it.
Those claws raised over Cat. The ice begins to coalesce. That loose, shifting ice on the sea begins pulling itself together into a form of a tall, statuesque woman. You see jagged icicles protruding off of her body at every angle, making her look dangerous. As she stands over the numerous unconscious bodies here. Let me pull that little token out. Where'd it go? That's a little large.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's still got the stupid label on it. Hate that. It's a great token. I couldn't pass it up. And the dragon lowers its claws. Back to sleep, Thraxamunder. Back to sleep. The dragon snarls, then begins to stride away almost sulky looking, its tail dragging behind it. The woman made of ice reaches down one hand. And Seven, as you watch, you see that this little buildup of frost seems to stretch out from her hand across the surface of the ice. Sort of coalesces as if it was drawing in some of the seawater to itself. This little branching, almost fingers of ice that stretch out to Cat, to Nimue, Vengeance, Ryland, not to Oktag. And you can see almost a moment of hesitation there before one stretches out to Soren as well. She then turns her attention up towards you in the sky, still coming closer. By now you're probably, unless you've altered course, probably very nearby. And you don't see the mouth of this statuesque figure move, but you do hear the voice say, "Your friends are safe. For now."
Oh, is the thing waiting for me to respond?
I don't know, maybe it takes Seven a few seconds to realize that it does seem to be.
Apologies, I don't think they look very safe.
They are imperiled, yes, but only for committing the crime of trespass.
The crime of trespass.
Yes.
That's what this was. You send your pet dragon to slaughter us. Just for approaching this tower.
Not to slaughter, or else, well, they would be dead.
We came here to try to save this world. I suppose it's a lost cause. But perhaps you could have talked first and attacked later. Courtesy we frequently give our enemies, and they rarely give us. I'm not going to stand around here to watch whatever sick fate you have intended for them. If they die here, I die with them.
You can see the shoulders of the ice figure slump ever so slightly. Sick fate. She shakes her head. Your time with the many has turned you against me, hasn't it? You speak of talking, and yet my enemies do not wish to talk with me. They wish instead to hurt me, to hurt my people, to hurt those close to me. You and your friends. Well, I once considered you honored guests in my court. I enjoyed your songs, your speeches, and your antics. Most diverting. I did not wish to see you slain, but you traveled amongst those who would do anything to end me. I have no sick fate in mind for your friends, or for you. Won't you come down from there?
Uh, Seven's considering whether he should point to disintegrate at her himself. But I suppose himself would be a cowardly thing to do. So he raises his hand and fires a fucking disintegrate right in her face. If we're gonna go down, we're gonna go down swinging. Fuck this shit.
Hell yeah.
Jeez.
All right.
Oof.
Is that an attack roll with disintegrate, or do you?
No,
wanna
it's
make
a-
save?
It's a 17 dex save.
Dex save.
Or a legendary resist, whatever you prefer.
That's failure. Oh, it still has that stupid. Where is the name hidden? I've changed the name so many times. Stupid token. Last time I import anything. That's a failure though.
Well, I mean, I can roll some damage, but I'm sure it doesn't matter.
I mean, let's see it.
Oh, okay. Give me a second. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, the disintegrate strikes the figure and deals 64 points of force damage. And you can see that it blasts a hole right through the statue. She looks down at the hole that you've burned right through her stomach and up at you. Says, "We seem to have gotten off on the wrong foot. Somehow." And vengeance. Not oh god. 7. I need you to give me a charisma saving throw.
All right. Although I'm immune to charmed and frightened. At least there's that.
It is neither of those things, I'm afraid.
Oh, lovely. Well, here we go.
Oh, nice.
I have an inspiration, but I guess I don't need to use it.
That's a natural 20. And Dear God. These DCs are high. That's still a failure.
Damn.
Bro, what?
Does he get any bonus with the crown being on his head?
Ooh.
I'm up to I get if it was a charm or frighten, then yeah, but or psychic, I guess maybe.
7. You feel ice creeping across your body from your feet up to the top of your head. It blankets you, obscuring your vision, and you find yourself locked in the ice.
I am wearing a hazmat suit.
You are.
Just pointing that out. I feel like no, never mind. It's not gonna matter.
It is it active against cold right now?
No.
Well, hold on.
But I mean, I guess I probably should have at some point. Yeah.
I was kind of surprised that nobody did, honestly. But you feel cold seeping into you, colder and colder, and you fight to catch your breath, but the air freezes in your lungs.
Actually, I don't need to breathe.
It's really cold.
You don't need to breathe?
Yeah, I figure if I'm about to die, I might as well just spill all the beans.
You feel the cold freezing all over you, from bottom to top. Since you can't actually roll high enough to pass this save, you are going to keep freezing and freezing and freezing.
Activate my suit.
Technically,
It just gives me resistance to cold. If there's no way to ever save against it, then yeah, eventually I'm gonna die.
yeah, it's going to keep on going. You might try to trigger the suit to get a few more moments out of it, but eventually the cold gets to you and you lose consciousness.
Fuck.
Let's take a 5-minute.
I can teleport. If I still have time to do stuff, I can teleport.
No, it's way worse than that. Because technically the whole time that you're in this state, you are also stunned. So it's really...
Oh, well, all right.
It's a huge...
All right. That will do it.
Yeah.
Well then.
That's a huge fuck you. That's why I didn't even give you a chance to respond, because there's really nothing you can do. Once I realized once I realized you can't actually pass the save, I was like, oh, he's totally fucked.
Fair enough.
This escalated very quickly.
You know, let's give diplomacy a chance. You know, let's talk about this for a little bit. You know?
We're all about to be diplomatic with our gods at this point. What do you mean, be diplomatic?
Yeah, so after all that conversation, how many death saving throws do we owe you?
You don't. You don't owe me any more death saving
Did
throws.
she stabilize all of us?
Yeah.
Oh god.
She just Medusa'd our ass. We're just gonna be statues in her court forever or whatever.
Oh shit.
I
yeah.
am gonna suggest that we take a 5-minute break.
Cat's jacket is probably destroyed again after that.
You're worried about your jacket, the
I'm
whole
just
fucking
saying.
thing.
I'm just saying, you know, ignoring the threat of impending death and or petrification.
Cat's unconscious, dying, just in her head. My jacket.
That's fair. I imagine if
that's me observing that. So a cat probably.
imagine
like,
if I was
oh,
about
wrong
to die, I'd care how I looked as well. Let's be fair.
So are we still going with the plan of we're all coming back as our Curse of Strahd children?
Technically, I already did.
True.
maybe I don't know. Would Kai ever get together with Seraph?
I
Maybe can have
feel
the
like
monk and bard combo.
I feel like if this is really over, then I do have some secrets I really wish to share, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
I have a feeling that we're not. That maybe this isn't over.
Don't really see a way out of this. I mean,
Grand prison escape. That's them.
apparently, I mean, maybe some of you could save against this ice, but I don't know.
Oh, I could with a charisma saving throw, probably.
Yeah, I mean,
If I weren't dead.
charisma 20 is a tough one for a lot of characters. I'm not sure what the DC was, but that's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a bad one. There's not a lot of proficiency in charisma saves.
Well, let's be honest. It was over long before that.
Surprised he's setting up portal hopping round 2. That's our afterlife experience.
Oh shit. Okay. do a little setup here, but I'm gonna step away from the computer for 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
So,
We're all gonna be dead.
Yeah. Unless something happens.
maybe the fake queen wasn't the bad guy after all. Maybe it was Sobel the entire time. Who knows?
I still feel like that could be legit.
I still feel like the Fey Queen doesn't know that she's the bad guy.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I mean, she probably thinks she's perfectly innocent. She doesn't realize she's going to destroy the world.
Or she's being an illusion to believe that she's not doing anything wrong, period.
I mean, the weird shifting creature that we met in the portal, um, did mention that she's only an infant, right?
Yeah, so.
How's everyone feeling? Had a couple minutes to
I think we're all feeling pretty dead.
Yeah.
To digest.
to digest, as they say.
No, you were almost digested.
That's true. Very true. I figured we were gonna have to have a one-on-one chat with the fake queen anyway. I mean, it's not the worst thing. But this is among probably top 3 of the worst things that could have happened.
Facts.
I mean, who really expects a whatever that was, ancient dragon or whatever? I don't know. Mature dragon? Something?
It's true, yeah. We couldn't have planned for that.
Fucking goddamn blue-eyed white dragon out of the fucking ice lake.
It was ancient. It was ancient. It was the real deal. It wasn't one of those half-assed adult ones. It was the whole dragon.
Go away.
And honestly, I don't think an adult one could have stopped you guys at all. I think you guys would have obliterated an adult dragon, but ancient did the trick.
Made us his bitch.
It does make me feel good that it took an ancient dragon to stop us. So
Can take a little pride in that. You are not dead. It may come as a surprise to some or all of you, but bit by bit, each of you begins to rouse to consciousness. It's first a feeling of warmth in the darkness. Surprising warmth that you might mistake for the comforting embrace of death. Except it's accompanied by sounds. A woman's voice speaking softly but sternly. And other sounds as well. The crackling of fire. The scratching of quills on parchment. And bit by bit, one by one, you begin to rouse back to consciousness with one hit. You find yourselves seated in plush, high-backed velvet chairs, deep red cushions that cradle you. You're sitting at a sort of bench, an elaborate wooden platform, you realize, looking out across a grand hall with high columns reaching up to a ceiling that arcs far overhead, and elaborate marble floors that stretch out tens of feet until they reach a staircase which rises up. And at the far end of the room, a doorway. You gradually come to realize that you're not alone in this room either. Your bodies ache from the exertion and the pain of near death, from the fight, the freezing cold. You still feel it in your limbs, in your skin. But you see your companions seated not far from you. You see a woman sitting in a grand, oversized chair at the same bench along with you, in your midst. She's talking, but not talking to you. She's addressing the room. And finally, as the last details come into focus, you think perhaps that maybe your vision was harmed in the fighting, or you're seeing double, triple, quadruple, but no. You're looking out across a sea of faces, each of them writing studiously at a double row of benches. And they all have the same high cheekbones, the same small but pointed nose, the same blonde hair, which falls down across their temples in tresses. The woman who addresses them, if you turn your attention to her, you realize that she looks very much like the ones seated out down below, but older. Her face sagging slightly with age, wrinkled, and her hair gone gray.
Jesus Christ.
Really?
Oh, God damn it.
If we look around, do we all see each other next to us?
You do see each other, yes.
Be a comfort.
The woman is speaking, like I said, firmly, apparently lecturing the assembled individuals in the hall, saying, "Remember, it is not about any personal desire, and rarely is there a need to act. The best thing that you can do is make yourself immobile, in a sense. It is our role, you see, to become something of an object, For this realm is bound together not by rulers, not by lords or nobles, not by armies, not by wealth. The thing that binds this realm is in the name. Zartskog, Korlevi, Fey. The realm of the Fey Queen. She is the institution of this land. And as such, it is our job to be her mouthpiece, her prophet, if you will. A mouthpiece does not have words of its own. A mouthpiece speaks only what is being said through it. And as she says this last part, she kind of pauses. It seems that our guests have wakened. She glances, sees the others rousing. Ladies, I expect you to continue your essays without further supervision. I expect them turned in by the end of the evening. Finally, she turns to look towards you. She says, "It is good to see that you have all pulled through. Some of you came to us in a terrible state. It was only by the Fey Queen's grace that you survived. You would do well to remember that whilst you are guests in her palace, in her academy. You live by the Fey Queen's will, which does not make you special. Do not let such a notion get into your head, for we all live by the Fey Queen's will. There is not a single thing in this realm that does not exist by her will. Now, you look absolutely famished. Shall I call for tea?"
I'll pass.
Cat stands up and throws her chair back into the ground, trying to create a large clatter, and reaches for her sword.
The woman doesn't react. She just sighs a little. Cat, you reach for your sword and discover it is not at your side.
Oh my god, I'm about to flip the fuck out.
I'll stand too. Am I able to still mind link with people?
How long does that ability last?
It was a Kalishtar thing.
Oh,
I was curious if it still exists.
that's interesting. Can you post the ability for me? I'm gonna
Yeah.
see how it's factored in. Nimue, you haven't attempted this since your quarry was ripped from you. You try it now. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
You try it now, and when you do so, you feel the hole, that absence of the other spirit no longer residing alongside you in your body. And it's unsettling, it's disturbing, just like it was some days ago when you first tried to summon your quarry, summon the arms that you used to do battle with. But that pain of loss, of absence, has lessened somewhat, dulled a little bit. And you find that as you reach out, who are you reaching out to?
I was wanting to reach out to Kat.
You find that if you try to reach out to Kat, that psychic impression that the quarry left on your mind, it still seems to be there, and you are able to reach out to Kat telepathically.
I'm gonna be like, Kat, Jenner's still alive. You're alive. We can get through this if we play it smart. I know that everybody's going to be angry. I'm not sure what Saki-san's going to do. But we can still do whatever we can with the situation. By playing it cool.
Cat looks extremely angry and significantly beaten up, she assumes. But she slowly unclenches her fist, looking around.
Vengeance is also going to stand looking at the older woman here.
Where are things? And where is she?
Your things are being kept safe in the dormitories. We feared a violent and understandable reaction when you awoke and thought it best to remove as much of the danger as possible. Now, I have no delusions about your capacities for killing. I understand that if even a single of you wished it, I would be dead before I could rise from this chair. But know that such an action would not serve any purpose. My death affects not the whole of the Fey Queen, and I am not personally responsible for any harm that has been done to you. You would be killing an innocent. Perhaps that would satisfy your rage, but it would not lighten your predicament.
I am not so sure. And she's looking over the sea of nearly identical faces. That you can deign to call yourself an innocent in this way.
She looks at Kat for a moment. No, perhaps not. Seems to wait for a long moment.
Bust out the tea.
And she reaches out, rings a small bell sitting on the desk. And eventually you see another woman come marching down the stairs, carrying a tray for tea service. She makes her long way up the hall, her shoes echoing. You might catch the occasional glance up from one of the other women studying there at her as she passes by, but eventually she comes all the way up and begins to arrange teacups with piping hot water. She pours out for each of you.
So what are you going to do with us from here?
What am I going to do? I'm going to make you as comfortable as I can. It is the will of the Queen herself, and it is my position to carry out that will.
Why?
I do not know, and it is not my position to know. It's my position to act as instructed. To adhere to the system. The system says you are to be treated well. You ought to consider yourselves lucky. I did say before that you are not special for being permitted to live. But, in truth, I have not seen faces like yours in many, many years.
Hey, Beat, what a fucked up situation.
Yeah.
Zaychik, are you awake?
Yeah, he's awake.
Okay, good. Is everyone still alive? Ryland?
Yeah, I'm alive.
Soren? Oh, I guess unalive.
Yeah. Soren, for his part, has hardly shifted since a lot of you have awakened. But you do hear his voice coming out from behind his mask saying, "Yes, I am awake."
I guess we can thank someone for that. Okay. And after this tea party, did you have something in mind? Or what should we call you? I don't want to call you the fake queen or your grace.
Neither would be appropriate. The truth is, I have no name, nor title, nor do any of us here in the academy. It is essential, as part of the training, to put these things aside. And there is no need for them anyway. Any one will do as well as another.
Have y'all never heard of a cult? Sounds like a cult.
I think we have gone beyond cult.
If there was another level, it'd be
Yeah, anyone know what that is? A level above a cult? Oh yeah, religion. That's right.
Wow.
some
Hot
big ideas
takes from
there.
Ninjas
Yeah.
over here. You're doing such a good job.
I love it when I get to hear Vengeance express his ideas.
Me too.
I feel like
Love
we
to
come
see
out
your-
better for it.
I'd love to see your God help us every now and then.
Me too. Me too.
We could really use your help, Belta.
Is that a note of dissatisfaction I hear?
No, no dissatisfaction. Just means we haven't truly been in trouble yet.
That is a frighteningly optimistic viewpoint to take. But okay. You know, we are alive. We are having tea? What kind of tea is whatever. Tea, and at least we're not fighting a dragon anymore. Yes.
Out of character, this painting and design above her is really cool.
Oh, I didn't even
Oh,
know.
it is really
That
cool.
really cool.
Me neither.
Is that an owl bear?
It's definitely an owlbear.
Nice. Beat, I really wish I had my sword.
I really wish I had Toy.
That is precisely why it has been taken from you. At least for the time being.
I have not been without my sword for how old am I? That's a good question. For years. Since I was a teenager, I have not been without that blade. I would very much appreciate it back.
That's okay. There, cat. She can't take away all that from you.
That is, I am so grateful for Eldath.
So did they take everything off us or just our weapons? Like all of our inventory?
They've taken weapons, they've taken armor, they've taken
I don't wear
component pouches,
Me neither.
focuses, magic items, pretty much anything that they can figure to get their hands on.
But then they take our cash.
That is important.
Important question.
They haven't bothered to take your cash from you.
Okay, we're still good, guys.
We're okay.
We're okay. We can figure something out. At the very least, we could, I don't know, make a platinum into a shiv.
She looks around at you. She says, I can see the look of confusion, loss on your faces. You are not the first to experience such things upon your arrival here, nor will you be the last. But each of us finds a way forward. If I might make a suggestion, the best thing you can do for now, until you learn the ropes around here, is to play along and play nice. It is easiest for you if you play nice.
You said that this is the first time you have seen different faces. What about Sobol? General Sobol. Anton Sobol. Bit of an asshole.
Yes. Anton Sobel. I suppose he is the exception that proves the rule. The only face ever to match the others. But one of the most adept students here at the Academy.
I'm sorry. That sounded like you just said he was a face. Or is a face.
Of course. One of the most talented ever to pass through these halls.
So, Sobel was just an arm of the Fey Queen the entire time.
She
Or a tumor.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean you guys all have slippers?
Do you all like slippers? That's a good question.
Specifically gold fringed ones.
She does have a penchant for comfortable footwear. Oftentimes, after I find myself relieved of duty. I do find myself in a soft pair of slippers.
How all vampires like coffins.
But yet, and I really like dogs, but why are we here?
Like I said, I do not yet know, and I have not asked, and likely the truth of the matter will never be revealed to me, but that is neither my interest nor my duty.
Well, look, to be fair, I don't think any of us really give a fuck about your tea. I think we'd rather have our stuff or at least a fucking bed at this point.
I would like another tea. Actually, this is very good.
Do you want my tea, cat? I haven't touched this shit.
Oh, your lips have been on it.
No, I literally have not touched this glass at all.
Okay.
I want to drink this tea if it was the last thing on Yon.
Is it nice tea?
It's quite delicious. The cat, you can't help but find yourself faintly reminded in some way of that cloying smell that you recall from the meal pits that you still avoid.
She takes one sip, and puts it right back down. I don't want any more tea.
Very well then. Perhaps a tour. Would you be interested in seeing the palace?
It's between that and sitting here with our thumbs up our ass, yes.
Might be interesting.
Why is your thumb up your ass?
It's a weird saying. I don't know where it came from, okay? I just repeat it. It seemed fitting.
I think, in his respect, he recently found out where the prostate is.
What is a prostate?
I think we are saying yes to that tour. Perhaps after a, say, hour nap or so?
Yes, you do look as if you have been dragged through a field of icicles.
Yeah, sounds all right.
Fairly accurate.
I feel like I've been torn up in the jaws of a giant dragon.
You should rest. Indeed, that you might enjoy the academy grounds more thoroughly. And she'll call out, "Has anyone finished their essay?" One of the women raises her hand and she says, "Very good, turn it in. And see these to the east wing. I believe the salon there will be more than satisfactory for your needs."
Vengeance is gonna lean over to Ryland. The hell's a salon?
It's a place they do hair vengeance.
And
My hair is fine.
once this woman puts her essay on the desk, she looks to each of you and she does this deep curtsy and says, "It would be my honor and pleasure to show the guests of the Fey Queen about the academy."
Hey, Beat and they even all talk the same. Oh no.
Is the rest of the palace as gaudy as this room?
The older woman kind of regards Ryland and his simple attire. Says, "It is of equal opulence throughout."
That's
You
disappointing.
don't feel that's a little excessive? I mean, it's kind of gaudy.
It matters not what I feel. It is by the Fey Queen's wish, and so it is in this style. You
Wow, I didn't know you were allowed to insult the Fey Queen like that. You just called her gaudy.
You did agree to what I said. Kinda a little fucked up.
are you ready to leave here yet?
The tone of "I'm sick of your shit."
Let us go. Let me not interrupt the studies of these crazy people.
Rowan.
Thanks for the tea. Vince is gonna drop the glass on the ground.
Leaving pamphlets on the desks as we leave.
Heck yeah. Put a little stamp under the table.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, did they take the pamphlets or did they leave the pamphlets? Subversive material.
You
Didn't make
drop.
a new tablet.
Yeah, they took the pamphlets. Sorry, they took your.
Were there like spoons with the tea?
Yes.
Seven's trying to talk to the spoon.
Of course he.
I mean, I'm not kidding. He's probably desperate for any sort of bond. He feels very naked at the moment.
No metal, no metal at all. What is him talking with the spoon look like?
He's probably holding it up to his temple, and like and just like eyes kind of half lidded, like spoon held up to his head, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't expect to succeed. He's just desperate.
He's desperate. Yeah, the spoon is not immediately responsive. It doesn't seem to be a great conversationalist, but as the others are rising, nobody stops you from holding on to it if you rise with them.
Yeah, he thinks he's getting away with it, so he tries to like slip it into a sleeve or something.
Okay. Yeah, you've got a spoon. Add 1 spoon to your inventory.
It's the only thing you got.
Cat would probably, in full view of the older lady, like smash the teacup, so she has like the handle with a little sharp end on it, and just stuff it into her jacket.
The woman just watches it dispassionately, and meanwhile another young woman comes up from the bench where she's been writing and begins to gather up the broken pieces of both yours and Vengeance's cups.
Very kind, very kind. Excuse me. Yes. Sorry.
Thank you for cleaning that.
Kat, would you make an insight check?
Sure. Fuck.
Yeah, you just see this young woman, really barely older than a girl, just kind of bend down and go about the task of picking up the pieces. Her long blonde hair falling down over her face and hiding her expression.
Ryland's just gonna give a little snap of his fingers, and these two braziers are gonna, the flames are gonna change colors to more of a, you know, bluish green. Need a little sprinkle of Eldath.
For a second there, I heard something different.
I just imagine like,
and I'm just like, what? What is Ryland doing?
you know, no, Ryan, I thought you were gonna do something more
Oh,
dramatic,
sure.
like turn it to blue and be like, "Ha, Rowland Nilo here," go into a full-blown speech.
Oh, you should. Oh, you know what you should do? You should grab up some like study materials, start making up new pamphlets, and hand them out as you're writing them.
To all the faces.
Okay. The face begins to lead you out the way, saying, "If you'll follow me, I'll bring you to the East Wing now. You can feel free to rest there." And she'll make her way down this lecture hall and out.
Turning these lights bluish green too.
As he's, I love the idea that as he's moving, everything like the fire changes behind him.
There's just a little snap.
Sorry, just gotta think this might be a little funny. Vengeance is gonna look at this one as he passes and be like, "Blink twice if you're in danger." Any reaction?
Give me an insight check, Vengeance.
It's not one of my good ones. Nope.
She looks up at Vengeance and she says, "Sir, please, I need to finish my essay." And she is continuing to scribble on the page.
Everyone's
Good luck with that.
taking so long. Ron's just gonna stand at the top of the stairs. Not giving a speech, by the way. That's not Ryland style. Just gonna yell out loud. Just so everyone knows, the Fate Queen's probably killed your family.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
You can see several of the heads pop up, some worried glances back and forth, the women looking at each other. And the one sitting up at the top calls out, "Girls, keep writing."
Like your family's life depends on it. 'Cause it does. If he went from Lamana, it's gone.
Any reaction to the crowd?
The worst thing the Fake Queen could have done was stuff a bunch of all of us with nothing but our words because we love to talk. In a
We
room
love
full of
your shit
space.
talk, bro.
Sort of gagged everyone. Yeah, you can see that the as you call that out, Ryland, you can give me an insight check.
Hey.
You call that out, and you know what, Vengeance, give me a perception check because I really wanted you to pass this one.
Okay.
Your insight is garbage.
Facts.
Okay, fine. Ryland, you can see as you call that out that like you distinctively hear the sound of some quills stop scratching for a moment and then continue to do so, and you can see like even some of them flinch ever so slightly at your words, and it's clear that all of them are afraid. But all of them are also seemingly too afraid to speak out or do anything or respond in any way to what you've said. And as you're walking away, Vengeance, you're still reflecting on what you saw written on that girl's parchment. The one who said she needed to keep writing her essay. Written at the bottom of her page, she scribbled out 2 words. Get out.
Oh, good. Now we're in a movie.
So cool.
Fucking A.